Now, the very effective approach to pass the ACCA Strategic Business Leader, or the SBL exam, is to read the examiner's report. Now, in this particular section, I will be taking you through to the March and June 25 examiner's report. Now, the March and June 25 exam is all about the historic places. It's just to be the charity, alright? It's not-for-profit making entity. Now, let's read the general comments, including analysing the exhibit. Now, a lot of students asking me about when we go to the exam hall and to see the exam environment such as this, the first thing I would do when I was a student many years ago would be I would quickly read through the task 1, task 2 and task 3 because there will be 3 questions in this exam. Now don't forget, it's to be 3 hours and 15 minutes in total. I would highly recommend my student to utilise at least the first 15 minutes to read all the exhibit information and to link each requirement to different parts of the exhibit so you can answer the questions appropriately. But of course, this is not enough. You're given different exhibit. As you can see on the page, we got the email from the CEO and the summary of the site's performance and the shop operating procedures and fundraising blog. Some students may not know the terminology such as fundraising, which means the ways that we raise funds, and no more than that. But it's fine. The next thing I would recommend students to do is to plan the deadline for each of the question in turn. As we can see there, we got from task 1A up to task 3. So for example, 18 marks, I will be timing by 1.8 minutes per mark to plan the deadline for the task 1A. Now, moving on. The next thing is to read through the requirement. When I was reading through the requirement, as I told one of my students this morning, is that I will highlight the keywords, I will link them into a story. Let me show you how I would be doing it. Task 1A, prepare a report discussing the contextual features you need to consider when implementing the program of changes. What were the keywords in task 1A? Well, the keywords include something that I don't know. Contextual features. Well, just to be contextual is just to be the background, it's just to be the context. The feature, which just to be the characteristic, it's just to be the factor. But the key point is not about contextual features, perhaps, but it's more of a need to consider. Which means it's some things that I need to consider when implementing the change. Oh, okay. Which means we're doing something new. What sort of things that we need to consider that? Okay, it's all about change. We're doing something new. But how about part B? Determination of the executive's remuneration and the employment contract. It's all about staff. We should change something. We've got staff. All right, just keywords popping up in my head. And part C, advise the qualities of leadership. All right, so not only I need to consider change, staff, but also to lead the team. 3 keywords popping into my mindset is absolutely fine. Now, when I link them into a story, at least it's a logical chain such as this, the next thing, I will be going back to the exhibit information and to see which exhibit part relates to which parts of the requirement. Some students may also ask how many points I should write. Well, part A, I should write 7 points. Because per the marking scheme, it's just to be 2 marks per point. Per point is just to be one very small paragraph. I would recommend my students per point, you should include 2 sentences in there. Next question, how about the professional marks? Here or before? Do we need to care about that? Well, yes, because we need to have a report. You need to get your report format right, otherwise you can't get this professional mark. But do we need to write 2 extra points because we are given 4 marks here? The answer is no, because all you need is to focus on the technical marks to determine how many points they need to write. Professional marks is just to be there, it's just to be the subjective mark that the markers and the examiners will help you to pass this paper. For example, any students having the margin of fail, let's say 48, 49, it's very likely that adjusting the marks to help the students to pass this paper easily. And ACCA is very generous in this regard. So that's why you only need to focus on the technical marks. That's important. Now, on the next page, you can see the examiner's comment about the technical marks and so on. We're told contextual features is just to be the object of the requirement verb, and you just structure your answer basing on this. But later on, the examiner report said many students' answer did not touch Balogun and Hopefully contextual features model, but they can still get very good marks, even though the structures the answer, such as the Porter's 5 forces and so on, is absolutely fine now. As long as you're utilizing the exhibit information from the examiner, it's fine to give you lots of marks. But here, for example, using the SAF suitability, acceptability, feasibility model, Porter's 5 forces, diamond, pestle, they can still get technical marks. However, for the professional marks, that could be limited, alright, if you're utilizing the wrong models. So don't be afraid quoting any sort of models that you like, but if I were you, I would not do it, because in my course, I have shown many students that even though without any frameworks, you can answer the question correctly. So make sure that every sentence from the exhibit information is vital to help you pass the SBL exam.
APC, accounting for your future.